just make sure it's back a little bit. On.
So good evening everyone, and welcome to the regular board meeting of the Sunrise School Division Board of Trustees for February the 17th. I'm going to call our meeting to order. My name is Paul Mang, I'm the board chair. Please stand for O Canada if you can do so. Thank you very much to Whitemouth School, I appreciate that. We have a treaty acknowledgement, and I'm going to ask Trustee Boyton to read out our treaty acknowledgement, please.
We acknowledge the traditional land upon which Sunrise School Division resides as Treaty 1 territory. We honor our partnership with Canada's original peoples and respect the gifts of Indigenous history, culture, and language. We commit to moving forward in partnership with our communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation.
Thanks, Trustee Boyton. For the people that are listening online in the room tonight, we have Superintendent Reed, we have Secretary Treasurer Thiessen, we have Assistant Superintendent Fieldberg, we have Trustee Wilson and Trustee Rowland, we have Trustee Smith, Trustee Boyton, Trustee Harris, we have our Executive Secretary Sarah Scott, and as well with us we have the principal from Oakbank Elementary, Shauna Rogers, joining us here. So welcome to everyone again. We have an adoption of, there are two trustees that are not in attendance tonight, and that's Trustee Dent and Trustee Rowan. Made sure I said that right. So there's 7 of us that'll be voting. So with the adoption of our agenda, please be it resolved that the board approve our agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Smith and seconded by Trustee Boyton. Any questions to this? Hearing none, we'll vote. And I can do the math. I was a math teacher, but there are 6 trustees that are here. So thank you for that correction. We're on to chair's comments, and I do want to make one comment before we move on. You know, this is our first meeting since the the tragic events at Tumbler Ridge, BC in the secondary school. Certainly our thoughts go out to all the students, staff, and parents. Yeah, we're thinking of you. And if you have questions, so Shauna, just to let you know, there's probably about 1 million people that are here going to be listening online for your presentations, and anyone here, is that to send all your questions to jody.thiessen@sunrisesd.ca. Put your name and address of the questions and into the question loop, and we'll get to the questions at our question period later on in our agenda. I do have share a story for staff. Who would like to share a story? Anyone? Trustee Wilson?
I went to Centennial School for I Love to Read Week and read to grades 1 and 2, and then grades 3 and 4. It was just delightful, lots of fun, great kids.
Anyone else? So I got to go to Powerview Schools PAC meeting that we had. This is the first PAC meeting in quite some time. So it's great to see the administration there, and probably about 4 or 5 other parents that were there trying to get a PAC going. So it was to me, that was real important. Talk a little bit about what the Parent Advisory Council does and what can they contribute. And it was a great meeting, and looking forward to the next one of the parents of Powerview School. And then, you know, it's just a busy time of the year for all of our teachers and staff. Again, I just want to continue to say thank you for the work that you're doing, whether you're out at Festival de Voyageurs, whether you're coaching, whether you're doing a number of things. You know, thanks for the time that you're putting in with our kids. Last week was Staff Appreciation Week, and thanks to the board for going out and trying to talk and say thank you to as many of our staff as possible. I got a chance to join some of the bus drivers as some of you did on last week, and they kind of looked at me wondering what was going on as I'm bringing a donut onto the bus with them, and they're kind of looking at me like, what are you doing here? And when I said, well, I just wanted to say thank you, all of a sudden it just went, oh, okay, thanks, like was Magna coming here to give somebody. Anyways, you know what, kudos, thanks to all of our trustees for doing that in your schools last week. Again, every time that we get a chance to say thank you, I think it's important. We have a board delegation. Oh, go ahead, Chuck.
I don't often share a story, but I would think I'd like to share one this evening, and I think it's a heartwarming story. We often talk about our successes as a system, division-wide, you know, big events, but every once in a while a small thing comes up that's worth sharing. And one of our schools just recently welcomed a new grade 6 student into their building. And this young person, through life circumstances, unfortunately had not had the opportunity to attend school up until this point in time. So they're coming into grade 6 with an extremely limited set of skills, including not having any ability to read or write. Can speak the language, of course, quite well, but no reading and writing skills. School's been working extremely hard, you know, with the student, trying to get them caught up as much as possible. Leading up to Valentine's Day, you know, just last week. And again, because of life circumstances, you know, this young individual really had no concept of what Valentine's Day was all about, and teacher was explaining to the class about, you know, providing classmates with Valentines and the party and that type of thing. And again, life circumstances, there was no way for this young person to go out and purchase the Valentines that many of our students sort of take for granted. So he helped himself to some paper and some pencil crayons and took them home, and he used his limited language skills that he had learned at the school over the past couple months to handwrite and draw Valentines with written messages unique to every student in his class, and brought them and distributed them to his classmates. And so, just one of those great stories that we sometimes miss in our busy day-to-day with almost 5,000 students in the division, you know, massive data sets, student achievement all over the place. Yeah, just every once in a while, there's just really one of those small wins out there that happen in all of our schools, and I just wanted to take time to share that as an example.
Well, thanks for sharing, Mr. Reed. All those things are what makes our schools pretty special, so thanks for sharing that. So we have a young lady here that's here to talk to us a little bit about Oakbank Elementary. I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can introduce her for us, please.
Yeah, I don't think there's any further introduction needed. We welcome Shanna Rogers, principal at Oakbank Elementary. And Shanna, if you just give me a second to pull up your PowerPoint, we'll load it up for you and you can get started.
All right, so as I was introduced, my name is Shanna Rogers. Patty Watman, our assistant principal, was unable to join us tonight. As of about 6:30, when we talked, she was still in a parent meeting. So had her stay back at the school with the teachers and the parents, and I said, I got it. And she's told me that she's made some really good notes on her slides. So if, you know, there's any fault, or I'm just kidding. But she did plan to be here tonight, but was needed elsewhere. So, you know, sometimes we need to make those switches at the last minute. So our school is a pretty big school. We have 526 students and about 65 staff in total. And those students are broken up into our English program and our Ukrainian program. 473 students in our English program and currently 53 in our Ukrainian program. Good news, our kindergarten enrollment is up again for next year. At the moment, in this year's kindergarten, we have 49 students. For next year, I believe we already have 56 registered, and 11 of those are registered for the Ukrainian program or have applied for the Ukrainian program under School of Choice. So I think that that year of 49 was a possible little blip, and that I think it's going to go back up for this year. So our goal, this is the second year that we've been working on this. When we first started looking at incorporating Indigenous perspectives, we took a look at where our students and where our staff was. And like anything, when you start new, we have people on one end of the spectrum and people on the other end of the spectrum with, and when I'm talking about people, I'm talking about our staff, with their comfort and their capability and their confidence and knowledge in an area. So the first thing that we had to do was build that up. And so we worked through the 24-25 school year to build that capacity in our teachers and to increase their confidence and their comfortableness with this content. And then after that, they felt that they were feeling more comfortable and able to deliver some more of the material. So we changed our goal to enhance student awareness, understanding, and appreciation in the area of Indigenous perspectives by teachers embedding authentic experiences across the curriculum. The Indigenous population in our school is quite low. I believe it's just over 10% the last time I took a look at the numbers. So we also wanted to incorporate other cultures as we were looking at this, so that we could be inclusive of the new diversity that has come into Oakbank Elementary School in the last few years. With this goal, we wanted to move past the, I'll call them the one-offs, the orange shirt day, the, you know, this celebration or this presenter. We wanted to have it embedded through the curriculum so that students were experiencing it in authentic ways. So we had quite a few strategies. I will read some of them to you, but not all of them. I do want to say that all of our teachers, as provincially mandated, did complete the treaty training, PD, and they've all finished their second day on the October PD day. Our first day of treaty training, I found, was very valuable. We all went to the Forks, and we had an hour with the treaty, the TRCM, and then we went and we did that walk that's outside the Forks. And so we did some independent learning as well as experiencing an area that we could bring our students to. And a lot of our teachers, myself included, had never done that walk and actually stopped and read the things that were there. And we had them use the app as well through Parks Canada so that they could learn the different significance of the areas that they were passing through. So that was our first day of treaty training, and then our second day was the divisional PD day. Since then, at our last school PD day, we focused on the treaty kits and how we could use the material that's in the treaty kits to our advantage. We asked each team to plan together 2 to 4 lessons, and they then were going to deliver those lessons at about the same time. So that in their team meetings, they could talk and get feedback and what went well, what didn't, so that then they could better prepare them for next year. We are hoping that the skills and the strategies that they have put into place will not go away even when we're not focusing on this goal anymore. Some of our grade 1s, when they did their first one, they brought all of the grade 1s together and they had them all in one room, and it was magical that one of our teachers was leading this, and really liking that the students are participating in different groupings, not just in their homeroom grouping. The teachers found that when they were planning together, that they were able to bounce ideas off of each other and collaborate in order to provide the best experience for the students. On that same day, we also looked at some vocabulary in other languages. Our Ukrainian teachers taught us some Ukrainian words that then we could take back to our classrooms to use. Our team leader continues to model various strategies for authentic integration through targeted lessons, and she has gone into almost every classroom by this point in the year, and it's her goal to get into every classroom by the end of the year. Again, to model those lessons so that teachers can continue them. And then we do have our outdoor games, our Arctic Games Outdoor Learning Day, and we have that planned for March 6th. And that is our celebration, our cultural celebration with different activities and cultural experiences throughout the day. A lot of the grade levels did choose at least one lesson that focused specifically on the 7 sacred teachings. So that was something that I was happy to see across all grade levels, because then that consistency, as we're building up from kindergarten to grade 5, they can build on it throughout. So evidence of success. We couldn't find many sources for quantitative data with this kind of goal, so we were looking at qualitative data. And I think our biggest success is that students are approaching situations with curiosity and asking why things are the way they are. They're independently recognizing connections to Indigenous cultures, and with guidance, they're making connections from their classroom experiences to real-life events. We encourage students to discuss their learning with their parents, and I think that that's really happening, because this year, the first year that I've been there, we did not have anyone opt out of the Orange Shirt Day activities. We have had some people ask to see some of our resources and some of our learning materials, but parents have not, how do I say this? We haven't had anyone opting out and missing out on those experiences this year, which I think is a win. One of the original pieces of evidence that we were hoping for, which was inviting community members, knowledge keepers, and elders into the school, that's still a work in progress. We haven't made a lot of connections in those areas, and we're still working on that. We do have some knowledge keepers coming to our Arctic Games Day for a presentation, so starting to build those in our community. We have a bulletin board up in the school that is dedicated to this area. I meant to set my timer, I didn't. And that changes depending on the time of year and the themes that are happening in the school. The books and materials that our Indigenous Academic Achievement Team Leader sets out are signed out on a regular basis, and there's waiting lists for some of them. So again, the evidence is there that these are being used in the classroom. Many resources that different teachers have used. And then that picture there beside is the book display that our team leader sets out. And it's, you know, take these, gives a little blurb on what they're for, and then the sign-out sheet beside. So our SBDM funds, which we truly appreciate and we use for many things, but we do use them to support our team leaders. Our IAA team leader is the one that's divisionally funded, and then we fund another 2 through that fund, through that budget line, to support our literacy and our numeracy learning. This year, I was able to schedule it such that they have 3 to 4 periods where they can go into classrooms or have students come out and they can work on some different skills. But we also use it for our team leaders to go and work alongside other teachers so that they can team teach and co-teach in order to model strategies and collaborate together. The other big use of these funds is to support our students to collaborate with our divisional program leaders who have been very valuable in our school. Some of these pictures here are showing some activities where our students have been working with those program leaders, but as well as on some literacy and numeracy skills. The Read These Books bulletin board is done by a grade 2 class. And so that one's gone. Currently they have not a tournament, but like a bracket where they're voting on books, and it's going to be the best book of grade 2. And they have all of the other grade 2s voting in on that as well. So our next steps. We feel that this goal area is not done because it'll never be done. There will always be something else that we can do, but it's going to simmer in the background. We're not exactly sure where we're going to move on to next because there's many different things that we could do. Our PD Day in April and May will be used to decide that. Some of the ideas that we have with the new curriculums coming out, focusing in on some of that learning, how the global competencies will impact teaching across all curricular areas, and then literacy specifically in the areas of reading and writing. Those are some of the things that we could do. One of the other ones that we have bounced around is the critical thinking and the problem solving, social emotional learning, how to build those skills in our students even as young as kindergarten. So we haven't yet decided, but there's quite a few ideas out there. So we will focus it down by the end of the year. So these next few slides showcase some of the learning experiences the students have engaged in throughout the year. Two of our teachers last year went to the Take Me Outside, where was it, in Banff. And so it was 4 days of learning and land-based learning ideas. And they have shared that with our staff. And you can see in at least 2 of those pictures that they're incorporating some of those strategies that they learned. So one of the things that I do ask teachers to do, as many of our schools do, is when they go off on something, they're gone for 4 days to bring back their learning so that we can all benefit from it. And to the next one. And then some of our other classes, again, you know, doing some things with the global competencies, but also just getting outside and having fun. The bottom right picture, our Ukrainian class built a model of Terry Fox. And that was put on my desk to show it off, and I was very proud of them. And then the one right above that, that's our students baking bread. So again, some different skills that they're learning. This is how I want to end today. When we interview possible teachers, one of the questions that we ask them is, yes, we're going to teach literacy, we're going to teach numeracy, but how do you build in citizenship into your classroom? And this is a question that is applicable in all grades, but we're focused on kindergarten to grade 5. Because as much as we value the academics, it's really important to us that the students grow up to be good humans who can be successful in the world. And I talk to parents about that too, and they truly appreciate you know, that teaming that we do. And when I have to phone a parent for some unfortunate choices, you know, we talk about how they can learn and build those skills to improve and not make that same mistake again. We promote positive behavior through a few programs in our school, and you can see the middle is our Quality of the Month award. And we have 10 different qualities of the month. Each month at the end, we recognize students who have shown these qualities. And the goal is for each student to get 2 certificates in the year. Now, some students are going to show all of these all the time. Other students, they really try to get, those 2. And the students are really proud when I say their names and they stand up and we clap for them. I wanted to ensure that our teachers did recognize every student, because every student deserves that. At those same assemblies, we have drawn names from our high five book, and 5 students from each grade get a ribbon, and 5 students from each grade get a t-shirt. And you can see the ribbon picture on the bottom there, as well as the t-shirt picture. And we've changed our t-shirt now for the 4 years, so that if you get a t-shirt 2 years in a row, it's not the same t-shirt. And then the goal is to then bring that one back, in 6 years when the kids are gone. So students get sent down to sign the high five book, and it could be for exemplary behavior, work ethic, or attitude. And when they sign that, then they come into the office and they tell us they've signed it, and we ask them why. Because I want them to know why they've signed it. Again, they can celebrate themselves, we can celebrate them, and maybe other people can hear why they've signed it, so that we can all learn from each other. They get a sticker, and then we put all those names into a hat, and just for data purposes, the book's been signed 3,153 times before the end of January. Recipients then get their picture taken, and we celebrate them in the school. The other thing that happens at these assemblies that I wanted to bring up is that top picture. And we have students this year introducing the next quality of the month. So for gratitude, we had that class there challenge the whole school to make gratitude chains. And we had it almost all the way around the school. So again, students working together, celebrating things, and being proud of the school that they go to. Thank you.
Thanks, Shauna. Appreciate it. Anybody with any kind of questions or clarification for Shauna? Go ahead.
I didn't have a question or anything. Your presentation was great, but my comment has nothing to do with your presentation. I just wanted to say thank you to your grade 4 and 5 Ukrainian class for their Petrikivka paintings that they displayed in our boardroom. They were beautiful. I took pictures so I could show them to my daughter and my grandchildren. So I'll probably touch base with you, because I'd love to know who came in and did that workshop, because I thought it would be something great for our Ukrainian church to bring somebody in like that. But great artwork. Thank you for sharing.
Anyone else questions? I'm going to ask a question, and maybe you can explain it. On your slide there, you have your Oak Bank High Five. There's probably a few trustees that don't really know what that's all about. Can you share a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So that's been around for a long time. I first heard about it when my son was in kindergarten, and he came home and started to say this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, Mom, we say it every day. And it's true, they do. On the announcements every morning, at the end, after I read the high five names, I'll ask everyone to stand as we recite our high five. And so as I'm saying it, the kids are saying it in their classroom. And it's today at Oak Bank Elementary, I will be respectful and responsible, eager to learn, attentive and dependable. Yes, I can. I'm ready. And then they high five themselves. So high five, Oak Bank Pride. And I think it's a great way to start the day. It talks about some of the things that we value, and then teachers can talk more about those things and how they can show them, throughout the day and as the kids are participating in their activities. Does that answer your question?
No, thank you very much for that. I don't know if everybody understood what went on at the school and that kind of thing, that you're working with kids, and the assemblies that you're holding with regard to qualities of the month, that kind of stuff. Certainly, you practice it every day, so I just wanted to, I didn't know if all of our trustees knew about that. Is there any trustee who want to ask any question? So Shauna, you know what, you're the one principal now that as we work on budget, you've got an opportunity to influence the school board. And so now all of your colleagues are depending on you to go ahead and do that as we're in the ninth hour of our budget deliberations. So what would you like to leave the board with regard to your thoughts on budget?
I did expect this question, and I've thought about how I want to answer it, and I've thought about some different ways that I want to answer it. From working in the 3 different schools, as I'm answering for everyone, the SBDM dollars.
Too, by the way, so there you go.
They'll all be texting me later with, critiquing my answer. The SBDM dollars that you've provided to our schools are invaluable, and I would like to see them continue. I don't know if we could deliver the same programs that we are delivering to all of the students and having the materials that we need for each individual student without those. The other thing that's from an elementary school point of view is the literacy support position. I had asked for this when I was asked for my input. We have a 0.75 literacy support teacher, and she works with many, many students, but there's many more that she could work with. So increasing that time, or increasing some student services time again, so we can hit some more of those tier 1 students who could use more intervention to be able to move them further along academically. For myself at Oakbank Elementary School, we're running out of space. So as I start to be more creative as to how we can, place different groups and double up in the gym, I think we might have to triple up in the gym next year with some of our youngest students, just how we can, think about that in the future.
Okay, 2 other questions for you. One of them, you got 3 minutes to answer. What's a typical day like for you at Oakbank Elementary?
Oh, a typical day. I get there between 8 and 8:15. We have some buses that arrive at 8:15, and they need to play in a certain area until the rest of the buses come at 8:30. So I'm often out there supervising those students. And then at 8:30, taking a walk inside and outside, unless there's a student in my office who needs my help. I do work very closely with some of the students in order to get them ready for the morning, in order to get to class. I do a walk around the whole school then we do announcements. I check in with secretaries, make sure that we have all of our subs. I do a walk around the school and do a temperature check in each classroom. Sometimes I only have 3 minutes. Sometimes I will stay and participate, and those are the best parts of my day because I can interact with the students in their element and see them succeeding and learning. Then we have recess, and I often go out for recess, and then back to the office to try to get a few things done. And then I'm out for lunch. Some of the lunch monitors have said, I don't want to bother you during lunch. This isn't my lunch. This is when I'm here to support you. So I'm out and about for that. And then often after lunch, there's some students that I need to talk to about some unfortunate choices. And we problem solve there and then send them back. Maybe they come back for last recess and we can do some modeling and some skill building. And then we have recess again. At the end of the day, I'm heading outside with some of our late bus students because some of them are outside for another half an hour before their bus leaves. After 4 o'clock, that's when I get my own work done. And I am answering parent emails, making parent phone calls, usually till about 5 o'clock, sometimes later.
Thank you. One last question. The board now has talked about making sure that we have busing available for students for the Ukrainian program. Is that generally known now in the community that we will bus kids to Oak Bank in the Springfield Collegiate catchment area? Just wanted to make sure I got that right. So is that generally well known?
So Trustee Dent did email me after that was passed, and I let our OPUE, Oak Bank Parents for Ukrainian Education, know at our last meeting. And today when I spoke with Trevor, I asked him for something that I could send to all of our current families so that if they are in that situation where they hadn't been eligible for busing, that they were then aware. So the OPUE minutes would get out there, but I don't know how widely they're spread amongst the rest of our Ukrainian parents. So I wanted to be able to send something directly to them. So is it well known yet? I don't think so, but it will be.
Keep us informed certainly about that with regard to that information going out, and certainly through Trevor. We can certainly do it through Lorraine or any one of the local trustees as to what it is. It is something that we thought about, and was something that we did, you know, a long time ago, not necessarily a long time ago, and why it stopped, we're not quite sure, and part of it is we just wanted to make it as easy as possible for students to be able to register or not have barriers about busing for them not to be able to go to the Ukrainian program. Anything else for this young lady? Certainly on behalf of us, thank you very much for coming out and doing this for us. We appreciate it. Yeah, and you know what, careful on your way home. I'm not sure whether the snow is coming or not, but did you want to add anything? Yeah, go ahead if you want.
No, just wanted to say thank you to Shanna for coming out, and we made it through the weather, so yeah, as Paul said, be careful on your way home, and he always invites the staff to stay for the rest of the meeting, but we think, yeah.
And all the staff that don't show up, we do kind of make that comment about what their budget looks like next year, so thanks for, just teasing you, Shauna. Thanks very much.
So thank you for the opportunity. I am very proud of the school that I work in every day, and I am happy to talk about it, and I welcome any questions. I do want to answer Trustee Boydson that we have had a parent on our OPUE committee who has led most of the art projects in the last 2 years. She's a grade 1 parent, and she's wonderful.
Thanks, Shauna. You have a good one. Safe drive home. We're going to continue on ourselves to move along in our minutes. So be it resolved that the board adopt the February 3rd board meeting minutes. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Wilson, seconded by Trustee Boydson. Any questions to the minutes? Hearing none, we'll vote. Thank you. It passed 6-0. We now to the superintendent's report, Mr. Reed. Any questions for Trevor? All right, thanks, Mr. Reed. You also have on here our board reporting schedule for the information that's there. Does anybody need any comments for that? Thanks for supplying that again. Okay, so we're going to move on to 7.1, Secretary Treasurer's Report. Jody?
Yeah, thank you. So attached is the report for tonight. Just to give you a quick update for the department's finance, February is usually their busiest time when it comes to the Department of Payroll because it's T4 season. So by the end of February, everybody will have their T4s. We have been busy with retro. I seem to have missed that part, but retro for our transportation because we've finalized our transportation agreement. So we have bus drivers getting their retro pay and mechanics. They'll be seeing that if they haven't seen it in their bank accounts already. And then, of course, I get some assistance from our finance manager when it comes to budget preparation, just doing a deeper dive on trends and consumption calculations. So we've been pretty busy for the month of February. Purchasing, we've had a lot of requests for furniture acquisitions or purchasing of furniture. What we found, though, is some schools are very successful when it comes to a classroom purchase plan. So what that means is we basically come up with a plan. We know there's some classrooms in our division that have desks that are aging out or in disrepair, and we recognize that we have to start doing a renewal or replacement plan. A school like SMS, I have to give Bob Welsh credit for a really good plan of recognizing which classrooms need to be replaced and which ones are next in the queue. So he's done a really great job, and I like to tell other schools, go talk to Mr. Welsh because he has a really good plan and the way he sets it up is very well. And we've had a lot of success. So Edward Schreier School was one of those schools that we needed to take a look at their classrooms because, yeah, there's a lot of older desks. We call them the basket desks. Those are the desks which have the chairs attached and you can't change the shape or size. They're just fixed. And we found that there was a number of classrooms at Edward Schreier that needed a renewal. So we're working on a replacement plan there. So we're finding good success with that, and we'll keep that going. So purchasing has been busy, kind of working a plan out with that school. ICT has had a busy week last week. We'll have a report later on tonight. But they did update some access points at at the Sunrise Education Center here, the Business Center, and the Transportation Department. We've identified that there's a controller that needs to be replaced, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But we've had success with replacing some of these access points and to buy us some time so our internet here at this building doesn't go down during our board meetings. Last board meeting was the first time we were on the new access points, and it was a success. Our internet didn't go down, so we're hoping tonight will be a success as well. So IT has been busy reviewing, and we've prepared an RFP now to go out. So some work on that, lots of cybersecurity, senior management, and maintenance manager. And the IT department, we will be working on on a security training event, kind of like a tabletop event, just to prepare ourselves in the event that we have a cyber attack, and what does that look like, and what should we do, what's our next steps. So it's important for us to plan ahead and understand what the greater impact is for all our schools and our students learning how does this impact. So. And then, of course, maintenance. There's always work being done in maintenance. I'll give everybody an update with the SCI mechanical system. Last board meeting I didn't. It is still under review. I find that we're moving things along, kind of ruling out issues that we're finding. Our next test is we're going to do study 10 data points. So the unit classrooms, the units that are in the classrooms, we are actually going to monitor for the next 10 days certain data points every 10 minutes. So the system is so sophisticated that we can identify what the temperature is in the classroom, what the oxygen level is in the classroom, and airflow and the temperature of the airflow out of the unit every 10 minutes. So we can see any severe fluctuations. What we're finding is some units are doing exactly what they need to do, and we found some that are a little unusual. So based on that, we're going to try and rule out some factors. And the classrooms that have the unusual situations, those are the ones that we're targeting. The classroom users, the students and the teachers are the ones that have identified this concern, and we're matching their concerns with the activity of the unit vents. So what we're going to do is monitor it, rule out some situation, making sure that it's installed correctly. We did rule that out. We recognize they're all up to the spec and done well. The next part is actually reviewing glycol and the filters and make sure that those are circulating properly, or circulating properly. So we are monitoring that, and then we'll have results probably by the next board meeting to identify if there's any other things that we can rule out. The chiller is another thing that we're actually talking now with the manufacturer directly to identify any concerns with the chiller, as we can say it wasn't working the way it was as intended. And again, we're working with the mechanical engineer, the individual that designed this system. We've removed the architect from the conversation, as they were just more of the middle person, and we're going directly with the mechanical engineer and talking to the manufacturer. So we're getting more responses at a quicker time, and realizing that some of the theories that we thought were installation issues, those have been all corrected if there was, but we're finding everything was installed as needed, and when it did need to be replaced or updated due to deficiencies. So quite a bit of stuff has been done and ruled out. Now it's down to just ensuring and reviewing data points right now. And then hopefully by the end of March, we can rule out more information and come back with potentially a different design to mitigate some of the issues. So, and I think the rest is if anybody has any other questions.
Any questions for Jody? So Jody, we're sending the SEI staff treats every week, I guess, because having to put up with this, because you know what, I appreciate all that, but at the end of the day, it's still not done, right? And so that's still not acceptable to our board. And thank you for the work that you're doing on it, but it's still not acceptable. And if I'm a teacher there or a student there, you know what, yeah, I get it. I get it where we are. I think whatever we can do, and maybe we need to be done buying donuts for Kevin Dell and his team on a regular basis or something, but yeah, it's still not acceptable. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Okay. We have some board business. 8.1 is our grade 12 provincial assessment results. Mr. Reed.
Yeah, so the report, of course, is provided for your information. As we typically see when we review these results, you know, there is some variability in the data year over year, but Sunrise students typically score near or above, you know, our provincial averages. It's also worth noting that, you know, there's also some variability between schools in the division, where, you know, we have some schools that would traditionally score over and some that would score under. You know, the provincial average or the divisional average. That's how an average works. And we follow up with schools as needed to try and improve instruction where we're not getting the results we'd like to see.
Any comments for Trevor? So thanks, Mr. Reed. Keep us informed certainly about how this is going and how this progresses throughout the years. With regard to the data, because data is twice a year, certainly that's there. And yeah, let us know how our students continue to do. We appreciate it. Thank you. So our wireless network upgrade. So I think this is you, Jody, but I think in short, the board has been talking lots about this with regard to the information. So it's an urgent issue, and basically it's a wireless network that we need to make sure that we can keep up and going. You've got a recommendation in here, certainly about going ahead and doing it. I think the board is prepared. So we have a motion, be it resolved that the board approve the purchase of a new wireless network due to urgent requirements. The board will allow the Secretary Treasurer and the ICT Director award the vendor from the request for proposal, the RFP, prior to the next board meeting. And be it further resolved that the board approve a total of up to $550,000 to be spent from accumulated surplus if required. So let's get this on the floor and then we can have some discussion. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Wilson and seconded by Trustee Rowland. Is there any discussion from trustees about this? So it's a big deal for us as to going ahead. We don't normally do this way, but it is something a little bit of an urgent matter. So if we have no requirement or no further comments from Jody, she shared lots with us. Thanks, Jody. Then we'll go ahead and vote. And thank you. It passed 6-0. And Jody, that was the fastest $550,000 that you spent going around. But there was lots of good information, so thank you. A bus purchase. I'm going to put this get a motion on the floor, and then Jody, you can discuss it. So be it resolved that the board approve the purchase of up to 7 buses subject to bus capacity, budget capacity, and be it further resolved that the board approve the transfer from the bus reserve to support the purchase of the buses. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Boytson, seconded by Trustee Wilson. Discussion on this, and just to clarify, is that the idea is to get this up and going even before the budget, for us to get our, I think, Jody, what I heard you say is for us to get our names first on the list to get buses that are out there. Purchasing buses now early, about getting a better price as well. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
There we go. Can add a little bit further to it. I think the intention is to get us out there, like you said, Paul, to get it out there, to put us in the queue before a lot of the other school divisions, so we get our buses in sooner. We have at least 90 runs on a daily basis going out there. We have reduced the amount of buses that are in our reserve. When I say reserve, it's usually our spare buses. We've reduced it over the last couple of years, so we don't have as many buses that we are in our spares. We're not looking at replacing or expanding our spare buses. Most of them that are ready to be put to pasture are usually ones that are ready to take it to the scrap metal, and because it's to the point of no return. What we're going to do is with these 7 buses is put them in the bus routes. In the Division 2 will come to the Beausejour area because we've identified propane, and the Beausejour runs and the Broken Head runs are the only ones that are capable for the propane, because we only have 1 fueling station. The others will be for the longer runs out in Powerview or Whitemouth that will be replaced. And those buses that are getting aged out, we bring closer to the bus garage so we can be ready to replace them, or if they do break down, they're closer to the bus garage. So the intention for these 7 buses is just to continue with a renewal plan, because if we don't replace 7 buses now, and we defer 1 or 2 to the next year, we know sometime in the future it'll catch up with us and we will have to replace 9 buses. So to stay consistent with at least a minimum of 7, that'll help us out. That's it.
Thanks, Jody. I do believe the motion's on the floor. Is it correct? Is there any other questions or comments from trustees? Okay. Hearing none, we'll vote. passed 6-0. Thank you for that. Edward Schreyer School Curling Tournament. So be it resolved, the board approve in principle the Edward Schreyer School Curling Tournament in Hamiota, Manitoba, February 12th to the 14th, subject to the superintendent's final approval. Moved by Trustee Smith and seconded by Trustee Harris. Any comments to this? Hearing none, will vote. Six, nothing, thanks. Mr. Reid?
Yeah, I just wanted to, provide some clarity. You're sort of the board just to kind of approve that one retroactively, informed, the trustees that this would be coming. What it was 2 weekends ago, Edward Schreyer won the zone championship and qualified to go to provincials. And of course, no board meeting in between them winning the zone and provincials coming up. So, we informally approved them to go and then formalize that tonight. Almost a very happy ending to the story is the team lost in the finals and finished second in the province. And so still very proud of the team from Beausejour and their achievements for finishing second in the province, but very close to being the provincial champion. So congratulations to them and on their achievement.
Yeah, good for them. No, that's great news and good for the kids for sure. So 8.5 on our agenda, we have a proposal to subdivide, and 8.2, a second proposal to subdivide. It's there for information. Does anybody want any questions from Jody about the two proposals that are in the town of Beausejour for that are giving us notice about subdividing and where they are? That's information for you. Questions? Okay. Committee reports, Trustee Rowan's not here, but anybody from the policy committee want to share? Is there anything that is invigorating? So Trustee Wilson, no, we're good to move forward off of policy. Okay, guys, just haven't been doing your job and you're just not doing anything. Okay, I got that part. I'm just kidding, policy committee. Thank you for that. Make sure Trustee Rowan knows that she reads that back, that I gave her a shot that she's not doing anything. And Trustee Boytson, the chair of our finance committee, any updates from you guys that you want to share?
No, nothing. Our meeting will be on Thursday.
So Jody, we don't have anything from the foundation and we don't have anything from the land planning committee. So that's there. Professional development for the division, you'll see is that there is for trustees, there are convention on March 19th and 20th. I think Sarah's taking everybody, or taking care of everybody. Capsule conference information that's there for people. There is not a divisional summary report. We have some board correspondence. Thank you, Sarah, for putting that together. We have some nice to know things. Thanks, Sarah, for sharing that information with us so that people get to take a look at what are some of the things with our schools. And again, kudos to all of our students and staff that are, the work that's going on with the extracurriculars. Jody, do we have any questions from the public?
Nope, we have no questions.
We did say we have added an MSBA correspondence. Just so you know, our survey has gone in. Our questions for the minister have gone in, 5 of them. And if I was supposed to do something else, I didn't do it, but I did those 2 things. And that's the other information that's there. Thanks, Sarah, for getting that on. We were supposed to have a presentation from tonight from Jeff Friesen from Hanover School Division, as he is running for the director of Region 3. Is my last meeting with the MSBA is coming up, as I've lasted my 4 years and they're kicking me out that I can't. The issue is that you can only stay for 4 years if you're a regional director. They've had me long enough anyways. They wanted to see me go, so. But that's with MSBA and stuff. We do need to move back into. Oh, sorry. We have one motion, and then we're going to go back into in camera, but we do not have any other kind of coming from there. So be it resolved that the board offer the permanent position of Centennial School Principal effective September the 8th, 2026, as recommended by the superintendent. I need a mover. Moved by trustee Wilson and seconded by trustee Boytson. Hearing there's no questions, so we're going to go ahead and vote on it. And it passed 6-0. And I guess before I close, Superintendent Reed is reminding me to remind people about our public budget presentation that's on Thursday night here at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, and it'll go from 7 till 8 o'clock or to whenever we can finish answering questions. You're more than welcome to come on out, as well as at any time public can send information to the budget at, I think it's budget@sunrisesd.ca. So you can send any of your comments to there, or you can look up any of the trustees up on the website, and you can go ahead and email any of the trustees your thoughts as budget season is coming. Well, we're right in the thick of it, as the board will make a budget decision. So our public budget meeting is, help me with this date, so is the 19th of February, and we'll be making a decision at the Tuesday, March the 3rd budget for us to get our information into the province by March the 15th. So the board will make that decision. And so again, we've been listening to people, so thank you for that, sharing that information. Have I missed anything from anyone? Okay, so we're going to adjourn our meeting, and we will move into in camera, but thank you for the work tonight from everyone. Have a good one.